Hello, this is Trevor Scott Barton, reading from my story, Hilcias, Chapter 7. Hilcias loved whales. He walked beside his abuelo down rows and rows of tomato plants and peach trees, shielded from the sun by his trusty cap with a whale sewed on the front, by his gullah friend Maddie. A blue whale's heart is the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. A beluga whale is called the canary of the sea because it sings so much. A fin whale can make a sound on our side of the Atlantic Ocean, and another fin whale on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean can hear it, he whistled. Boy, his abuelo smiled, you must be whistling about whales. Now, as he sat beside his side of the Atlantic Ocean, at the state park on Kiowa Island, an astonishing thing happened. A gigantic tooth and a conch shell washed up with the waves onto the shore. He was sure the tooth was a sperm whale's tooth. The sperm whale was one of his favorite whales. The first picture he had ever drawn of a whale, before he had visited the public library and checked out every book he could find about whales, before he learned that a lumen, the measurement of the brightness of artificial light, came from the brightness of 1 cup of sperm whale oil burning to give light in the days before electricity, before he had memorized the field guide to whales of the world. He had sketched a picture of what he thought a whale would look like, and that sketch was a picture of a sperm whale. He picked up the tooth with both hands. It was about 1 foot long. It was made of ivory. It was shaped like a cone. This tooth came from the lower jaw of a sperm whale, he thought, because they don't have any teeth in their upper jaws, only slots that the teeth from the lower jaw can fit into. If I could slice the tooth in half, it would show the age of the whale, as the rings of a trunk show the age of a tree. He gently laid the tooth beside him on the sand. He picked up the conch shell with both of his hands, too. Wow, he thought, look at its shape and color. The shape was a common shape in nature, formed by a graphing of the numbers 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, and so on, the Fibonacci numbers, a special shape that also appears many times in geometry, architecture, art, and music. Some people called the shape God's blueprint for the world. Its color was a common color in nature. It was 3 shades of yellow. Its spine was the brilliant yellow of the sun in the early morning. Its siphonal canal was the quiet yellow of the corn he and his abuelo shucked in late summer. Its aperture was the deep yellow of sunflowers in a field. He raised the shell to his tiny ear. Someone once told him that if you held a conch shell to your ear, you could hear the sound of the ocean inside of it. I wonder if it's true, he thought. If it is true, then I can take it home to our bus tonight and bring the ocean with me. And in a small way, I can bring the great whales with me wherever I go. As he listened to the inside of the shell, he expected to hear only the ebb and flow of the ocean. He was surprised. The sound he heard wasn't only the breaking waves and rolling tides. No, also within the depths of the shell was a song. It was the most beautiful song he had ever heard. He closed his eyes and saw the musical notes dancing before him. This song is from a humpback whale, he thought, and I understand it. I understand it. The whale sang to him in his own language, with whistles that were his own. There were notes of love, forgiveness, faith, hope, light, joy, consolation, and understanding. All of the notes he whistled, all of the notes that made up his life, all of the notes he whistled to the world, but the world couldn't understand. All of those notes came back to him in the song of the humpback whale. A tear rolled down his cheek, and then he wept as if all of the hatred, injury, doubt, despair, darkness, sadness, and loneliness poured out of him onto the sand and into the vast, deep waters of the sea. I hear you. I understand you, he whistled into the shell. I hear you. I understand you. Finally, we found you, he heard. To his great surprise and wonder, a sperm whale, a blue whale, and a humpback whale surfaced out beyond the waves. There's a story we tell each other along our migratory routes, sang the humpback whale, about a boy on land, a boy who can sing our language and understand our songs, a boy who is hope. You're that boy. Me? Asked Hilcias, thunderstruck. You. But how can that be? We're searching for the world's loneliest whale, sang the humpback. We call him 52 Blue because he sings at a frequency we cannot hear, 52 megahertz. You will be able to hear him, and he will be able to hear you, and we will be able to find him a family, and that just might save the world. But what do I do? Asked Hilcias. There is a girl with brown eyes the color of the ground of earth, and dark skin the color of the bark of trees at the edge of the Chukchi Sea in the Arctic Circle, sang the humpback. She will be able to understand your whistles, for she understands our songs. She will be able to understand you. She is waiting for you. How could she understand me? Whistled Hilcias. I can't speak her language. I can't speak at all. All I can do is whistle music for what's inside me. And why is she waiting for me? She is there, sang the humpback. She is there. Far, far away in Point Hope, Alaska, beside the Chukchi Sea, there is a boy, sang the bowhead whale, with eyes the color of a cloudless sky and skin the color of stones in a plowed field at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean in South Carolina. He will come to you. How can he get here? Asked Taki. It's so far. How will he find me? He is listening, whispered the mysterious whale. He is listening.